Come on, baby.
Wait, what do we?
Yeah, I'm on page number 3. The x plus y is greater than 5. Oh, okay. Anything else on pages 37, 38, I guess up to number 19? Yeah. 15. Okay.
No, 12.
No, 15.
15 was asked. 1/2 x
15 is right.
plus 1/3 y is less than or equal to 1. Looks like this. All right. I can totally do the cover method to find the x and y intercepts. So I'm going to go 0, comma, blank. Oops. And blank, comma, 0. All right, this is an x value, so I'm going to cover x. So I get 1/3 equals y, so y equals 3. So I get 0, comma, 3. This is a y value. I'm going to plug that in, so I get 1/2 equals 1, so it's 2. Is this going to be a solid or a dotted line? Solid, because I have that, so I'm going to have a solid equation. I'm going to use my test point of 0, 0. Okay, 0, 0. If I plug 0 in here, I get 0. I plug 0 in here, I get 0. 0 added to 0 is? True. Is 0, but good, close. Is 0 less than 1? And it is true. So I get true, so I shade down here. Cool? Yep. 14. 14. So I get y is less than x. All right, this has a y. This goes right through here, and my slope is 1/1, and so it's a dotted line. It's like a 45-degree angle line that goes through the origin. Obviously, I shouldn't choose 0, 0 as a test point because
It's going through.
yeah, it goes right through it. So maybe I could choose 1, comma, 0. So that's an x and a y value. Agreed? So that would mean I get 0 is less than 1. True or false? True. So it's true down here. So I'm going to shade where that region was. There you go. Anything? All right, we should be good on that. So let's go to.
Wait. You do 12.
That's a vertical line through -6.
Can you not divide
I was
by
just
2?
joking.
Do what? Someone said something else. I couldn't hear you. Yeah, divide by -2, so the sign flips over, so you get x is less than or equal to -6, so a vertical line through -6. All right, so we okay on 19? 19?
Yeah.
Go with 21.
20?
21.
20 is good?
21.
21.
Wait, why do we only shade
Yeah, 21.
like that
21
tree?
is easy.
Not like
Which one are you looking at? I don't know what you're looking at.
Be negative.
Which one are you looking
Oh,
at?
never mind, I got it.
Good.
Yep, alright. 21.
21. All right, seems like there's a general consensus to see problem number 21. It says the temperature drops steadily. So at noon, it goes to 80 degrees, or it goes from 80 to 4. Now, I'm going to change the 4. We're going to actually make it 1,600 hours. Okay? I'll put it in military time. Is that okay? All right, and then that goes to 64 degrees. So we changed the 4 p.m. We changed it to military time because 1 p.m. would be 13, 2 p.m. 14, 15, 16 for 4 p.m. Make sense? And I don't know what we're supposed to do. Find the rate of change, write the equation in slope-intercept form, and graph for the time period from noon to midnight. So midnight would be 2,400 hours, right? Makes sense? Okay.
Midnight 0,
0,
0.
0. So 23:59, right? Because there's a 24-hour clock. But we'll just call midnight. So we're going to do 2, 4, 6, 8, 16, 18, 22, 24. I'm counting by twos. Is that okay? All right. And then I'm going to find slope. So slope first thing is do it over here. 64 subtract 80. And then 16 minus 12. So you get negative 16 over 12, so that's negative 4. Is that right? So So I have a slope of -4. What does the -4 mean in the context of the problem? We drop 4 degrees every hour from starting at noon until midnight. All right, I'm going to use my point slope. So it's this. You can pick which either of the equations to use, or whichever the points to use. So I'm going to get y subtract 80 equals slope of -4x minus 12. That's 48. And then I'm going to add 80 to both sides. So -4x plus, is that 128? So you got like 128 like this, down 4, right 1. So the equation is going to look something like this. I don't have it drawn perfectly by any means, but so this point up here would be 0,128. Is that right? Or do I feel like I made an error? Yeah, we're right. Okay. Cool. 21's done. Hey, that was it. We're done. Is it stapled?
Yes.
Is your name on it?
Staple 2, D and F? No, not staple F.
Just F. Don't worry about D for right now. We'll come back to that at some point. So I'm just collecting F right now. If it's not stapler, stapler up here. Make sure your name's on it. Pass it forward, please.
I'm so not looking for it.
We turned in D or F?
We are not turning in D for, or wait,
My bad.
E. We haven't turned E in yet. So keep E. We'll get to E eventually. Oh, that kind of rhymes. No coughing in here. I know it.
Truth comes out.
What's the first story?
Oh, you missed it.
You had to be here. You had to be here. Too bad you went to Bare Necessities and got food instead of listening to a story.
That didn't happen.
You went all the way to Bare Necessities to get some choke and puke? Good for you. Alright, you got all the homework?
He asked for a story and then left.
I know.
Whoa.
Ironic.
Because Ben left, and then I had to go with him.
Oh, right.
I was gonna wait for the story.
Now you start blaming other people.
It's bad.
Ben keeps leaving.
Sorry, I thought it was today.
I'm thirsty. I'm beginning to drink.
Right.
Yeah.
That is right.
Kids vaping out in the hallway. They won't catch me. Just kidding.
Oh,
Now he's getting all
Wow, man.
offended.
I got offended by that.
Yeah, deal with it.
Are you big, bro?
No, no. Wish I was, but I'm not. That would be so cool. That's so sick.
No, I know.
So limited to popular demand, we will have a quiz tomorrow. So our quiz, this is kind of a review for it. The quiz is a front, back, gonna be stapled. And you can use a calculator on the whole thing. And I don't know what else I should say. That's about it.
Drafting calculator stuff.
Sure. So there's one problem that does deal with using the stat plot. But let's run through this review, see how we do with it. Hey. All right, ready? So we've taken care of all these things. We will have a quiz over Unit 2. We need to use the slope to decide if two lines are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. Does anybody need any help on that? So you have to be able to get something as y equals mx plus b so you can identify the slope. Does everyone understand the concept if it's parallel, perpendicular, or neither?
Yep.
We good? All right. Let me know if you need me to pause. All right, determine if a line is steeper than another. So, could I have, if I have these two equations, let's say I have one line like this, but then I have a line like this. Which one's steeper? The one on the left. Even though it's negative, that doesn't matter. It's still more steep. So you're gonna have to determine. So what determines if it's steeper than something else? Well, if you're given a slope, find the decimal approximate of that slope. How do you do that? So if you had 5/8, go 5 divided by 8. It gives you a decimal. Does that make sense? And then compare those. If you can't identify easily which one's steeper, figure out what the decimal amount is. The larger decimal is the steeper of the two, even though one could be negative. Graph lines and equations in all three forms. So are we okay with y equals mx plus b? Are we okay with ax plus by equals c? That's where I use the cover method. And then the last method is using the point slope. Oh shoot, x minus x1. So we have to use all three of those, and there'll be some of these examples we'll take a look at as well. But you'll have to do that. And then we'll have to find the missing coordinate k that ensures that the line goes through 2 points, has a given slope. So we're using the slope equation. But I do have some examples of those that we'll hit upon, okay? May I move on? Write the equations of sloped graph, point slope, using 2 points, parallel lines, perpendicular, and then transform an equation into standard form. I'll hit upon that a little bit. I think these were here. And then determine if the data of a scatter plot shows positive, negative, or relatively no correlation. Okay, so you'll probably be asked to look at a stat plot. And it'll probably have either dots that form a line going down or dots that form a line going up. If they're going down, that means you have a negative slope, which means you have negative correlation. If they're going upward towards the right, then you have a slope that is positive, so you have a positive correlation. If it's just all over the place, there's not a correlation to it. And then use the scatter plot with or without using the graphing calculator. So there might be one where we actually have the data that you have to draw in, pick two pieces of data on it, and go from there. All right, graph and shade, linear inequalities. That's there. And then okay, I X'd it out because you can use the calculator on the whole thing. Cool? All right. And then you might have fractional coordinates of the slope. Is that okay?
Yep.
All right, so let's take a look at some of the problems. Do you have these problems on a slide?
Yes.
If I had something like this, I would use 5/8, and I would convert this to -5/4. And then I would keep that as -5/8, and I would have 5/4. What did I do with each of the fractions? What did I do with this and this? Made them proper. Great. So the best way to start on that is deal with it when they're improper, and then let's use our slope equation. So 5/4 minus 5/4, and then -5/8 minus 5/8. Okay. So if I add 5/4 and 5/4, I get 10/4. And -10/8. I have a fraction over fraction. What should I do with that? Come on, elementary school stuff. 10/4 times what? So I'll multiply by this. What did I just do to the bottom? Reciprocal. All right, 10 cancels with 10. 4 cancels into 8. So I wind up with -2 for slope. Okay? Do the the same thing with this other problem. I would convert the first one. You have 1/2, which is great. 6, 8 over 3 is your other one, and then go from there. Okay? Everyone feel okay with those? Everyone happy for today?
Couldn't you multiply the first one by like 8 and then just...
Nope. Can't do that because you need to have an equal sign in there.
Oh, okay.
You're not clearing the denominator. Don't clear the denominator when it's given to you as a point, please.
Okay.
Cool? May I move on? Thank you. All right. This is giving some students some problem. I'll call this x1, y1, x2, y2. You will definitely see this. We know this is the slope equation. Agreed? So I'm going to plug in what I know. Y2 is 12. Minus 3, so that's plus 3. Agree? Is that okay? I just did that? So 12 minus 3. And then negative 2 minus k. All right so far? Move that up here so I have a little more room. What happened? So 12 and 3 is 15. And then I get negative 2 minus k down here. What should I do? Yeah, cross multiply, right? So I'm going to go this times this. Negative 2 times negative 2 minus k. And then that times that, so I get 45. That's 13 times 3. Or 15 times 3, excuse me. Distribute the 2, or the negative 2. Subtract 4. Divide by 2. Reduce if you can. If not, leave it as is. That's what our k value is equal to. That seemed to give some of you a little trouble earlier, but I think maybe you figured it out. We A-okay so far? May I move on from this slide?
Yes.
Alright. Alright, so this is a goofier one because you have a whole bunch of fractions in there. So the slope equation is m equals, and then I have y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. Is that okay? And again, I'm using this equation for those of you who are going, where is this all coming from? And these rows are being saved and recorded, so you might be able to jump on with that. Let's take care of some math. Let's take care of this downstairs part real quick. You want to do that? Make that 4/12? Okay. That gives you negative 9/12, which is negative 3/4. That's what I'll replace the bottom with. So that means I'll multiply this side over here by reciprocal. No, take it back. Take it back. I'll multiply by 3/4 on this side. That way, if I do that, this is moved over. And that's going to give me negative 3/5 equals 1/5 minus k. Subtract 1/5, so I get negative 4/5. Eyes up here. So it's going right here.
Whoa.
Alright, so this down here, do we add 3? So I had that, right?
Oh, yeah.
So if I multiply both sides by negative 3/4, it cancels out. So this cancels this. That's where that came from.
Where's subtract 1/5?
So basically, hang on, I'll just rewrite this. This math right here came out to negative 3/5. And then this is now moved over. We already multiplied it here. So it's gone. So then I have 1/5 minus k. So if I subtract that 1/5, I get negative 4/5 over here. Equals negative k. So that means that k has to equal 4/5. And what color are you looking at? Where are you at? I didn't hear what the question was.
I got it now.
Okay. Starting to act like my algebra once. Now one question up there on the board. What color?
Purple.
Purple. Good. Can I move on?
Yep.
All right. Write the equation for go through these points. So if it says to write the equation, I'm going to get 5 minus 5. 5 minus 5 is? So I get 0 on top. So I get this. That means it's a horizontal line. It's a horizontal line. My equation to this one is just 5. Okay? On this next one, this is actually infinite lines. Why is it infinite lines?
The same point.
Yeah, you're using the exact same point. So what line goes through that point? Remember from geometry, an infinite amount of lines can go through one point. Only one line can go through 2 points, but this next one, so I'm going to get 6 minus 4, or 6 minus 0, 0 minus 4. So I find I have a slope of negative 3 over 2. Use point slope, so y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Pick a value. I might pick this one. So that's y minus 0, or just y, minus 3 over 2, x minus 4. That's not me.
Just Cooper.
Done right? And then number 8. Number 8 actually has a slope that would be undefined. So what's my x value? X value is equal to negative 1, so I have a vertical line with that. We good? Can I move on? Transform this into standard form. This is standard form. Okay? So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. I did 2 steps up here. I did 2 steps. Okay? My first step is I multiplied my 3 terms that I had originally by 7. So if I multiplied this by 7, the 7's cancel out. If I multiply this by 7, I get 7y plus 42. Is that okay? That was the first thing I did. The next thing I did was I distributed negative 2. So negative 2 times x, negative 2x, negative 2 times negative 2, positive 4. Go ahead.
Why don't you multiply the x and the 2 by 7, negative 17?
Okay, so there's 3 terms up here right now.
Oh, okay.
That's why. So if I multiply
'cause
this
that
by
whole
7,
thing
this by
was
7, and this by 7, those cancel right away.
Oh, okay.
Cool? And then I distributed the negative 2 once the 7 was gone. Almost in standard form. So I need to move the 42 over by subtracting it. So I get negative 38 over here. I need to add the 2x. 7y. 7y. Cool? So that's standard form. Can I move on? I'm just trying to keep an eye on the clock.
Yeah, you can move on.
Thank you. Okay, each month Susie Q sells old Beanie Babies on eBay. Is the slope positive, negative? What would the slope represent? Y-intercept, x-intercept. Okay, so I would imagine this is what her thing would look like, where this right here was the original amount of Beanie Babies. Okay, this means she has none left. and then the time or the days. Okay? Slope would be negative. What would the slope represent? Number of Beanie Babies sold per day. And the x-intercept we just talked about. That's the x-intercept. Almost done? We good?
One more.
One more. This one? A scientist tracks the length of a lemon shark. So there's going to be a certain region. So I would say this lemon shark had a certainness. So I'd say it has a positive slope because it's growing. Obviously it gets to a full length. It's probably not a linear length. Where it crosses here is what its birth size was. And then what would the x-intercept deal? The x-intercept would be something time, but it's kind of irrelevant right now because the x-intercept would be back here. So it would be a negative time. And then, so yeah, I think you have a 2H in your book. I hope. You're looking. It's a 2G?
Yeah.
All right, 2G quiz tomorrow.
Riley, yours is 17, right?
Will somebody get my cell phone too, please? If you need extra help, I am happy to help you. I'm in my office, okay, or I'll be here after school.